For my first global experience, I chose to do the group activity where we all had to ask an international student in our hallway to go have dinner or hang out or something. So I ended up knocking on Gloria's door. She lives down the hall from me, and just asked her if she'd like to go grab dinner. So we headed over to the caf one night and grabbed dinner and sat down, and it had just been Easter. So I asked her what she did for the holiday, and she said that she just stayed here with one of her friends who is also an international student. She's from Shanghai, so her family's pretty far away to go home. So she said she just stayed and hung out over the weekend, and they do a lot of karaoke back in China, but obviously we don't have a lot of karaoke bars around here, so she wasn't able to do that. And then she asked me what exactly Easter was, and I was explaining to her the Christian significance of it. That was pretty easy because I've, heard it from Sunday school for a pretty long time. But then I was trying to explain to her the cultural significance of it as well. And that was funny because I realized kind of how ridiculous it sounds that we search for Easter eggs and get jelly beans and chocolate bunnies, and there's this giant Easter bunny that comes into our house. So we both got a good laugh out of that. And then I asked her to tell me about a holiday in China. And she was telling me about one in the fall where something with the sun and the moon lines up. She said she doesn't know the exact date of it, but they eat mooncakes to celebrate, and how the different regions of China have different kinds of mooncakes. And she said she doesn't really like some of them. They're more dessert-like and sweet, but then hers in her hometown are they're filled with meat, and so they're more like a meal, and she really likes those. So now I'm curious to try mooncakes. So hopefully I'll get to do that one day. It was really fun to hear about that and hear about a different culture's holiday, because to me, I get so stuck in the ones that we celebrate that I don't realize that around the world they don't necessarily have the same calendar as us, and they don't necessarily all search for Easter eggs on Easter morning. And then one of her friends, who's also an international student in my hallway, came and sat down with us as well because she was at the caf, and we started talking about our majors, and I found out from them that their parents and their families had actually chosen their majors. They came to America for a good education, they said, but they didn't get to choose what majors they wanted. They were chosen finance and accounting for them by their parents, and they said they didn't really like them, that they were hoping to switch their majors, but they weren't really sure if they would or if they could, which was interesting to me because I feel like here the view is very different, where you go to college for something you're interested in, or you go to college to find something you're interested in by taking different classes to see what kind of sparks your interest. So I think that's definitely something very different about our cultures, which was interesting to learn and to talk about the different perspectives. And I realized that as a teacher, I'm going to need to understand when teaching different cultures that their goals and their values in education are going to be different depending on what they want to get out of it, whether they're really fascinated with what we're learning or if they're just trying to get a good job and a good future one day, and how that will affect the perspective that they bring to my classroom. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience, and I'm really glad that even though the year is almost over, that I got the chance to meet both the girls because they were really sweet.